I've been podcasting for a very long time now, and my shows have been downloaded millions of times. And I'm here to tell you, there has never been a better time to start podcasting. And the reason why that is because the tools for podcasting just keep getting better and better and better. And there's not a better example of this than Riverside. Riverside is the podcasting platform that I use to record almost all of my video podcast shows. And yes, they did sponsor this video, but they sponsored this video because I have been a long time user of Riverside and I am absolutely a huge fan. So I would be telling you all of this stuff even if they didn't sponsor it. This is not a review. It is an overview of some really cool features that they just added, which is really funny because I recently put out another video about some new features that they just added, and then they dropped this one, and I was like, oh my God, these are fantastic. So if you want to know all about how to make video podcasts and make it so that you and your guests don't really have to worry about the technology and the logistics of it. All you have to do is sit down, press record, and when you're done, you can easily edit from pretty much any device. An absolutely visually compelling and really great sounding episode. Then this is definitely the video that you want to check out. So in today's video, I'm going to show you all about their new multi-track feature, and I want to show you about their new project feature, which allows you to get organized on an episode of your podcast, and you can record a bunch of different segments with different people and then put it all together in the Riverside editor. So if that sounds good, get comfortable, get subscribed, and let's get started. So if I go to episode 70 of the podcast and I click on edit, one of the things that you can see is down here, the timeline starts to show up, and you can see it's got all these different colors, and those different colors are based on whoever happens to be talking. So, for instance, green is me. I can change that color if I want to be orange because nobody else is using orange, and you can see now all the times when I'm talking, it's that color. And then blue is going to be Rich, and if I scroll down I can see that Carrie, aka the Fox, is yellow. One thing that I did notice when I was recording this is that Carrie's mic was really hot. Like his levels were way too high compared to everyone else. And then if we take a look at Bob is purple. Bob's levels were really quiet. Now, no matter how much Bob turned up his levels, he just was not getting to the same level as everyone else. And Carrie, he couldn't turn his down anymore. So whatever the reason was that our technical difficulties that we were running into, whatever was causing those issues is not important. But what is important is that it's actually really easily fixable. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can fix it. The old way that you would fix it is when you were done recording your episode, or done editing your episode, you would click on export. You could say normalize audio levels and then remove background noise. And that will really do a lot to clean up the audio. And those two clicks I've done on every single podcast that I've recorded using Riverside. But I'm going to go ahead and close that because now down here, we have some new stuff, and it's really cool. So I'm going to hit expand tracks. And as you can see now, all of my audio is broken out from everybody else's audio. And you can see when people are talking. So I'm going to click on this right here, and you can see that this is when Bob was talking. Bob's the guy right up here on the top right of the picture. And that's when he was talking. If I click on the blue one, that is when, let's find a time when that person was talking. Who is that? That's Rich is talking at that time. And down here on the bottom is yellow. That is whenever Carrie is talking. He's the one that's on the bottom right. Now, one thing that you might notice here, I'll click back on mine, is that it looks like everybody was talking at this time. But if I click there, it just means that people said something during that time. So I'm going to click in here to this, and I'm just going to hit play so we can hear what it sounds like.
You have to turn the DS.
Oh, I can't hear
like
anything.
A book. So that really screws up emulators. But it worked good in Delta. There's ways to do it, and that's the reason why people have been porting DS games to a 16:9 screen, is because they're, well, what do we do with that other screen? Just figure it out. It's very easy. Like, they figured it out, and I hope more people figure it out too. I do like that there's that they split the bottom screen. They need to realize that it really doesn't have to be that hard to get.
Do you mean for Nintendo Switch Online?
Yeah.
Listen, I've been saying that, like, you know how like Nintendo wants to be weird, right? Like they want to have like some sort of gimmick.
Then another thing that we can do is we can come up here to AI Producer, and they've got 4 tools. Now, I've already talked about set pace on another video. I've talked about smooth speech on another video, but Magic Mute is Magic Mute is a new feature that just showed up. So if I hit apply, what it's going to do is it's going to mute people. You can't read that. Mute people when they're not speaking. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, and we'll see how that changes things. So if you look right here, you can see like this purple or pink color has gaps in it. And that's where they've muted, because that's not the person who is the active speaker. If I click on this, I want to check and see if it did this the correct way. I'm going to hit play.
And the map, right?
Yeah, it did.
Having that split up.
So I jumped in there and responded to whatever Bob was saying in the moment. And the system knew enough to prioritize my voice over his, which is really, really handy. Now, sometimes it might make a mistake. And if it does make a mistake, it's quite easy to fix. So all you have to do is, you can see the parts where I'm muted and the parts where I'm not muted. And if I want to actually say, you know what, that didn't jump in fast enough for me, I can position my mouse right here, and I can click and drag it to the left just a little bit. And that made that section bigger. If I click on Bob, I'm going to leave him right there. But then after I finish talking, he jumps back in. I'm just going to move it a little bit to the left so that it doesn't mess up his, the fluidity with which he was saying things. So now let's check out Projects. Projects is a new way to organize the way that you are creating your podcasts. And you can see here, I've got Nerd Nest Podcast episode 71. And if I go ahead and click on this little arrow, you can see it has multiple parts. There's a part there where I'm sitting over on my couch over behind me and talking to my camera, and then there's another part where I'm actually talking to the other guests on the episode. And I'm going to go ahead and open up this thing, and you can see that I have an ad that I had recorded ahead of time that was going to be dropped into the podcast at the beginning. And then I have the actual episode where we sat down to record stuff. So basically what you can do is you can get a bunch of parts uploaded ahead of time. I could click on upload and then select a file, and then I could pick a different video. Let me find an ad for Mod Mic, and we'll go right there, open, and I'm going to hit upload. It's going to upload that part. It's going to be part of this podcast. And then after it's done uploading, then what I can do is I can put it in the middle of the show. So I'm going to show you how to do that as soon as it's done uploading. Okay, so as you can see, I've got that uploaded. I also threw in my intro for the show, and I'm going to click on the edit icon. And the first thing that you'll notice is that we've got our tracks on the bottom, just like we had before, except now we have different segments. So here we've got a segment for an ad, we have another segment for an ad, and we have an intro. And I didn't upload these things in the right order, but it's very simple to rearrange them. So first off, I want to bring the intro to the front. So I'm going to click and drag, and it's that easy. You just click and drag it. One thing that I will point out is make sure that your cursor looks like a hand grabbing something if you want to grab and drag something, because if it looks like this, where it's basically showing your index finger and your thumb, you can click and drag to highlight audio, and then you could, if you want, you can just hit the backspace button to delete that. I'm going to hit Command Z to bring it back. Then I want to find a place to put my first ad, because I don't want my first ad to be before we started talking on this particular day. So we're going to click up here to a point between two chapters, and I'm going to look at the transcript. We can see that we're talking about marketing strategies and consumer reactions to the PS5 right here. And that's a new chapter. So before the new chapter, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to split the playhead. And now I've got that first chapter, and then I've got the rest of the show. And what I'm going to do is come over here to my first ad, and I'm going to put it after that first chapter. And now I've got my second ad over here at the end. And we'll go to, this is a good spot right here because this is a break between two chapters right there. And I'm going to split the playhead, grab my ad, drop it right over there. And I just realized I never included my outro. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to upload. I'm going to upload my outro, which is at the end, and it's going to paste that in to the bottom. It's currently uploading, so it's going to take a little bit. But when it's done, the whole show will be edited, and I just did it right in a browser, and it makes it super incredibly easy to do. So there you go. It couldn't be easier to record high-quality video and audio podcasts using Riverside. If you want to know more about Riverside, make sure that you check out this video right here, and make sure that you check out the link in the description down below so that you can try Riverside for yourself, because it is awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.